5.
Alright,
Oh.
so girls, we are starting off with the West House today. Now we started looking at one of the frescoes that were present in the West House. What were we looking at? Not the Mistress of Animals, the Fisherman.
Yeah.
Very good, Zeta. Okay? And we were looking at the Fisherman. So, let us have a look-see at our Fisherman. What were we saying was important about our Fisherman?
He's got fish.
He's got fish, which we're probably going to do what with?
Eat.
Ritual. Okay. We think that he might have been sacrificing them. What else was special about our fisherman? He's nude, okay, which is usually a sort of religious thing for purification. What about his head? How do we know it's shaved? Because of blue. Okay. Can anyone think of another culture that does that?
That shaves.
No, but yes, very good. Okay? Egyptians as well often put blue heads to represent baldness.
That's why they're best friends.
That's why they're besties. Okay? And then we have little tufts of hair. Okay? What do the tufts of hair suggest that he is? Young, particularly adolescent. Okay? So maybe something around your guys' age, probably a bit younger. Okay? So, let's have a look, okay? Found in northeastern corner of room 5 in the West House, it is one of the best preserved frescoes from Akatori and shows a male figure holding a bunch of fish in each hand tied together with yellow string. A very similar fresco adorned the adjoining wall. What did we say a lot of the frescoes are related to with our last historical interpretation? The room's function, very good. Okay, so if we've got this guy carrying around a fish, then it's not incorrect to assume that it has something to do with either fish or
Trade.
no, maybe trade.
Eating.
Trade or sacrifice, because that's what we think he might have been doing. Okay?
So they eat fish?
Oh, look, I'm sure they eat fish, but that's what makes a sacrifice a sacrifice. You're giving something to the gods that you would normally use yourself, so you're actually losing something and giving it to somebody else.
Okay.
Okay, it's like zakat in Islam. It's no use giving something that you'd never ever use.
Yeah.
It actually has to affect you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both figures are nude and have partially shaved heads. Both points strongly suggest that these figures are youths performing a religious ritual. This religious connection is reinforced by the presence of recesses in the walls of room 5 and ritual pottery vessels in the adjoining corridor. What's a recess?
It's like
Divot in the ground.
Yeah, a divot in the ground or a little bit of a hole. Okay? Which you think where the offerings might have been made. Okay, you leave the offering in the recess. Or you'd have offering materials in those recesses. Okay?
So is it likely that fresco is like a sign? So you know how like when we cross the street there's like a walking sign?
Yeah, so
So like this is where you'll do
that's
the
actually a great example of the frescoes could be basically demonstrations of this is what you do when you go and sacrifice. So it could be almost like a manual or an instruction book. Okay, I think that's a great interpretation. Could be, if we're assuming that it's a natural religious thing.
Okay.
Okay? Even more convincing evidence that the figures are giving on offering of fish is that both figures are walking in the direction of the northwest corner of the room, precisely where an offering table was found by archaeologists. Okay? So the room has an offering table, and it has all of these things on it, and we're going, you know what? The frescoes of the room are really starting to represent what might have happened inside the room. So you've got all these people giving offerings on the frescoes because what happens in that room? They give offerings. So exactly like Vivian's saying, maybe it's an instruction book saying this is how you do it. Okay? Now, the last one which we all love is this one. Okay? We've seen this one before, we did it for homework and things like that. Okay? It is annoying because it has so many names. Okay? And whenever you see any one of these, it all relates to the same fresco, but you do need to know all of them. Okay? Who wants to guess why it has so many names?
Because people don't know what it's representing, so they have different names for different.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay? So there's so many interpretations in regards to this fresco that one person might call it the naval one, but that's because they think, well, it's showcasing the navy of Thera. Okay? You're right there, Harsha?
What does flotilla mean?
Flotilla. Anyone want to guess?
Floating.
Floating, yeah, definitely has something to do with floating.
Flotilla.
A floating tortilla. A bunch of
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of ships, exactly right. Okay, it's a group of ships.
Oh, like a fleet.
Yeah, like a fleet or an armada.
Is it like a small fleet?
Yeah, I think you can call it that. Usually we say a flotilla, usually when it's a fleet but not for military purposes. So a sort of civilian fleet, if that makes sense. So, we've done this one a bit before, so a lot of this will sort of be coming back onto what we said already. Okay? Now the 6 metre fresco of a procession, what's a procession? Yeah, a group all going to the same place. What's the sort of connotation or the meaning behind it?
Religious.
Yeah, religious. So it's like a religious group of people going towards a place. Okay? So in Malta, for example, there's this procession called the Procession of Mary, where a group of people hold a statue of Mary, and they all walk down the streets of Malta to another church. Okay?
So they move churches.
Well, they're moving that statue to another church because it's the Saints' Day. Okay? So the 6 metre fresco of a procession or escort of ships in miniature is from the southwest wall of room 5 in the West House. 8 large ships and 3 smaller vessels, all powered by oarsmen, travel from one port to another with centre stage taken by the flagship of the fleet. What was important again about the oarsmen?
We meant that they weren't going a long distance.
And how do we know that they weren't going a long distance just because it's got oars?
Because then obviously the people that were powering the ship, they were going to have it.
Exactly.
They wouldn't have to make it.
Exactly. So oars weren't suitable for a long-term journey. What was suitable? Sail. Okay, so we know that they were going a short distance. Okay. Now the town on the right is more sophisticated, both in architecture and the inhabitants' clothes. It is identified by Marinatos as Aquatori, whilst the flora and fauna of the town on the left identifies it as Aegean, possibly another more provincial town. What's provincial mean?
Influential.
Separate from the capital?
Not so much that. When we say something is provincial, we're basically meaning they're a bit behind the times. Okay, they're a bit more laid back. They're not as technologically advanced. That's what they're saying there. Okay? More provincial town on the island. In addition, the propulsion of the ships using oars suggests that the two towns were not far apart. Now, the scene may be a representation of a seasonal maritime festival, so a festival on the sea during a particular season, or even a scene from a lost epic poem. The ships are decorated with flowers, butterflies, swallows, and symbols of nature, which all suggest a religious festival as more likely, because you're not going to have all of those things on your warships. Okay? Dolphins, very similar to those from Knossos, leap between the ships and the buildings. Flora and fauna in each port are drawn in great detail, as are the long robes of the ship's passengers, which suggests that they are of high social status and once again participating in an important religious festival. Okay? Now we've talked about dolphins before. Okay? What do dolphins represent? What idea? Not so much Cleto. Okay? What else? Because you're getting that idea from Poseidon, who's Lord of the Horses, and dolphins are seahorses.
Man's friend.
Man's friend, not man's friend. Important idea that underpins all of Minoan society. Oh, you're very close to it. I'm going to give it to you, okay? Okay, thalassocracy. Okay, what does it mean again?
Marine town.
Marine-based power,
Yeah.
okay, or an empire based on the
More
sea.
ship you have more power, you have uga uga.
Exactly, okay. Now dolphins obviously are a what type of creature? Mammal, marine creature is what I was looking for, okay? That was my fault. That's a very open question. Okay? They're a marine creature, so when they have these dolphins or their symbols and everything, they basically keep on saying that the Minoans are a marine power. Okay? Their power is based in the marine. A lot of their religion is based off naturalism, but also water. Okay? And it is also a feminine figure, the dolphin in the ancient world. It's not something represented with masculinity. What's special about Minoan society? They could be a matriarch, okay? It's not that they are, but it's strongly suggested that they might be. Okay, and this constant presence of dolphins shows two things. A, might have been a marine, or definitely was a marine power, and B, might have been a matriarchy. Okay? Alright, so the last section that we're going to look at now for our overview is the house of the ladies. Okay? Now if this is Pompeii, that would mean something very bad, but this is not Pompeii, so we can all rest easy. Okay? So,
Oh, okay, I just got that reference.
yes, we all got there
Doesn't that link back to how?
You need to expand on it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now, girls, 2 minutes. I want you to tell me what you're seeing there, just write it down. Okay? So 2 minutes, have a good look at it. I'm going to close those blinds just so we can all see what the heck
What
is
if they
going
want
on.
women? What if they were men?
Actually, Taya, can I just get you to close that one behind you,
Or
darling?
like dressed as women? Or what would?
Which one?
Oh,
That
actually, no.
one, yes please.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever one's closest to you, whatever string that is.
This pool? No, that's that one.
The one that isn't a bee.
That's it, that's better. Thank you.
Want the other one done too?
Nah, I think we can see it.
So this is still in the rest house, right?
Yeah, no, this is the lady's house, the lady's house.
Look at those fancy dresses.
I want one of those dresses. I could probably rob a museum. Gotta rob a museum for them. For the dresses. So can we go rob a museum?
I think I have seen that. It's like some Nicolas Cage.
So can we rob the museum for the artwork?
Can you rub the museum?
Rob.
Oh, can we rob the museum for the artwork? You know what? We haven't had a class excursion. Why not?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go. What country?
Yeah. This would be Greece.
Greece? Okay,
I
let's
don't
go.
think the British took this one.
I've always wanted to go Greece. Let's go. It's a great place.
Why do I have to be?
Actually, who owns that island? Is it Greece or Turkey?
Greece.
Pretty sure it's Greece.
It's Greece. Turkey doesn't own that much.
Cancel that my mum and me dreams.
Yeah.
I think Turkey
Mama.
owns Rhodes. I think
Roads.
it Rhodes of a H, not. Yeah. Although if I'm saying that now, I probably want to recant that just in case I'm wrong and I'm saying that on video. Yeah.
Don't worry. You can just edit.
Yeah. All right. Who can tell me what we're seeing here? Yeah. Not so much Indian, but I can see where you got that because some of the details are actually familiar to ancient Indian art. Okay? So there's sort of colours and things like that. So I can see how you got there. Do you see anything else? Could be dancing or definitely doing something, okay? And I can also see, because we also had something else where a woman looked like she was dancing, okay? And that's actually quite a famous fresco. Good.
Boobies!
Okay, so we can see
That's
that
good.
the breasts are out.
Yeah.
Very good, okay? The breasts are out for both of them, which indicates either high social status or religious priestess, depending on your interpretation. Do we see anything else?
Wearing makeup.
They sing.
Well done, okay? Makeup. What was their makeup made out of?
Saffron.
Saffron, okay? Who are the only people that could really afford makeup?
Rich priestesses.
Okay? In the these ancient times, it's typically found that the only people that are wearing makeup in the ancient times are either if you can afford it, how am I going to say this one? Or if it's necessary to your trade. A woman that needs to attract. Yeah, you got
you
it?
got it.
Fantastic.
Is that little black thing a river?
This one?
Yeah, that. And
Oh.
then there's that on the other side.
Yes. Who knows what it is?
It's a river.
It's not a river.
What is it?
I can see how you got there, but I don't think it's that.
The sky.
Say it again.
The sky?
It's the sky. Because what's above it?
Oh,
Stars.
Stars.
All the
The
stars
night
in the
sky. Okay? So this wavy bit is meant to represent the night sky with the stars above it. Okay? Do we see anything else?
They both seem to be doing a similar like
Pose
Pose,
sort of
yeah.
thing, yeah?
Some of them have really fancy dresses.
Yeah,
Like multiple layers of clothing, multiple colours.
yeah. The colours are also quite vibrant. What one are they more vibrant on?
the right one.
And I can tell you girls, that's not just because of aging. The one on the right was actually painted to be more vibrant.
Mm.
Do they represent the sun and the moon?
Ah, now that's a good interpretation.
Ooh.
Okay.
Sounded, they're goddesses.
Alright, so let's have a look at our interpretation. Oh, also we missed one thing.
Yep.
So,
Hair.
Oh.
yeah.
Shoulder.
Jad.
So is that the Maltese word for hair?
It's body hair. It's more
Oh.
like jard or something like that.
Okay. Because
Okay.
silf means like sheep's wool now.
Yeah. Same thing. Okay. Hair. What is it?
It's long.
Full and long, which suggests
Older.
older woman. Okay? Alright, so let's look at our interpretations of the ladies. Okay? This fresco is in fact two separate pieces, beg your pardon, each depicting a woman, and they come from room 2 of the House of the Ladies. And were positioned in the other half of the room, in which there was also the papyrus fresco. Oh, pardon me. The women are wearing coloured Minoan robes with kilts and jackets, which leaves the breasts exposed in typical Minoan fashion. The women each wear earrings and necklaces, that they both have long hair and wear makeup. All of these details suggest that women are of high status, involved in some sort of religious activity or festival. Above the women is a representation of the starry sky. There is a third woman next to the stooping figure, which may be helping her dress, but only fragments of an arm and dress survive. So I'll show you what that third woman is. You can see her skirt. Third woman's there.
Ah, okay.
Okay, you can just see the rear of her dress.
So did that part get?
Yeah, that part got chunked off.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not exactly sure with that part. So I like that some of you girls said, looks like they're doing something. Okay, and the common interpretation is that they are doing something religious, that they're having sort of procession. Okay, or that they are offering something to the person on our left, their right. Okay, that person. Now, I've heard one interpretation of this is that it's meant to represent rebirth. Okay? Out with the old, in with the new and colourful. Okay? Or the fact that this person here is meant to represent a sort of goddess, hence why there's such more bright colours. And this is meant to represent just natural old earth and people basically praying or offering. Okay?
It looks like a puzzle piece because her hands are like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay?
See.
Now, why is it important if women are shown to be doing religious offerings?
Because
It shows that they're important enough to be considered in religion.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay? It shows that women are involved with the religion. And the fact that we are seeing so many women involved with the religion, what does that suggest? Yeah, it's suggesting a matriarchy, even if it's maybe not a matriarchy of political power, where maybe the king isn't always a woman, okay, because sometimes you do have female kings, okay?
so queens.
It's like when we were talking about headship soot a couple of months ago. She's still technically called a king.
Because
Okay.
the queen has a different role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not the fact that they might always have female kings or female rulers, but we're definitely seeing evidence that they have a female-based religious hierarchy, that their priests are priestesses, and that the women dominate the religious life. And if women are dominating religious life, that's pretty important in the ancient times, considering religion's darn well important in ancient times. Okay, so it means that they could have a very large influence over the society. Okay, they might not be the chief people, but they certainly have a bloody good deal of influence. Okay? Influence, I meant to say influence.
Oh.
Alright, the last one that we're looking at is the papyrus fresco. Okay? Relatively simple, not much to really look at. Okay? We're seeing a couple of papyrus plants. Okay? What's special about papyrus?
Can be used to make paper.
Absolutely. Can be used to make paper.
Did they have
What's
it?
special about papyrus and Thera?
Find it generally in Egypt.
Yes.
Trade and stuff.
Which means it's not what to Thera? Native. It's not native. Exactly right. Okay? So automatically we are seeing here an exchange of ideas. This is not native to Thera. They must have gotten the idea from someone, more than likely the Egyptians. So we are seeing evidence of trade, okay, or at least evidence of exchange of ideas. So, this fresco comes from the room of the ladies, from the house of the same name. The papyrus flowers are shown in groups of 3 and cover 3 walls. What do we call it when they cover the walls as you walk in?
Panoramic.
Panoramic, very good. They are not accurate in their depiction, perhaps deliberately so. But the iconography is Egyptian in style, and in any case, papyrus was not indigenous to Thera. Beneath the plants may be a river, a common association in both Minoan and Egyptian art. The discovery of ritual vessels with 4 sealed containers under the floor of the room suggests that it was used as a shrine. Remember when we went back to Egypt, papyrus was not just a everyday thing. What else was it?
It was a symbol of
Yeah, it was a religious symbol, wasn't it? Okay. We also know that reeds were a religious symbol as well, bee and sedge and things like that. So the fact that they've got this entire room with a papyrus around it, and then under the floor of the room we find something with sealed containers, we might be going, maybe it was a shrine, maybe they held papyrus to the same sort of religious standard that the ancient Egyptians did. Did you have a question? Sorry, I thought you put your hand up.
Oh no, sorry. I itched the side of my chest. It was just ambiguous, yeah. It was just a little nervous too.
Alright. So, the last section that we have of this is the problems in the reconstruction of frescoes. Okay, and I think you girls can see where this might go. Okay. What's the problem in reconstructing these frescoes? Yeah.
There's no way for us to know what was actually there.
Exactly right. Okay, there's no way for us to have a complete picture of what we were actually looking at. Okay, so a lot of it has to be guesswork. Okay, good guesses based in archaeology and history, but guesses nonetheless. Okay, sort of like when I was on my HSC maths test. You know, they were definitely guesses. They were calculated guesses, but guesses.
Hey, you got a band 4, sir. That's pretty
And
good.
for happiest mark in my HSC.
That's pretty
Okay.
good for maths.
All right, so the saffron gatherers. Okay,
And then
we've
put it
seen
down.
bits and pieces of this before. Okay, now these bits inside the chunks here represent the the only parts of this fresco that we actually had available to us. Okay? So before they reconstructed it, those were the only parts. Okay?
So the removed bits or?
Yeah, so these bits inside here.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Oh,
So
okay.
we were missing quite a big chunk of it. Okay? Now, these people have basically looked at the fresco, in particular this big section here, and they've gone, what do we think it might have been? Well, they've seen this shape, and they've seen the arm coming down here, and they've gone, well, looks like it must be a person. So why don't we draw in the rest of the person, and we'll say that's what it was, okay? That way we can sort of look at it in a more contextual way and see it in its whole.
So, but it could have been a monkey. Oh,
Well done.
because monkeys have similar.
Very well done. Okay? A good example of the difficulties that may be encountered in the reconstruction of frescoes is illustrated by the case of the Saffron Gatherer fresco, which was discovered in fragments from the Palace of Knossos on Crete. What's special about Knossos?
Arthur Evans.
Go again. Capital of Crete or capital of Minoan Empire. We think so at least.
Unearthed by Arthur Evans.
Yeah. Okay? Good work. The fragments were reassembled. The darker areas indicate the surviving fragments. The large central fragment shows part of the arm and torso of a bending figure. The figure itself was blue and painted on a red background and was 25 centimetres in height, so not particularly big. Restorers reconstructed a missing section by sketching in the figure of a young boy gathering flowers, and thus the fresco was giving its name. Okay, so we basically just said, there's saffron somewhere on the ground, kid's leaning over, must be a kid gathering saffron, hence where we get the name. However, the discovery was made many years later of the Blue Monkeys fresco at Akratori, and it seemed to suggest that the restorers of the saffron gatherers had made a mistake. Because remember when we were looking at the Mistress of Animals, and it had the blue monkeys like that? That's the one that they discovered. And then went, hold on, that monkey is all blue. I have never in my life seen a blue person at Crete before. We've seen blue heads, but never blue people. Why are we thinking this one's different? Oh crap, we made a mistake. It's actually a monkey and not a person.
Could be.
Okay?
It could still be a person.
Especially since all of the
But
people
like
that
the
we see
arms
gathering
are just
saffron and the
skinny.
non-reconstructed ones have been women.
Yeah.
This isn't really
Very good point.
artwork.
And if they were meant, wouldn't it be like
Hmm.
red instead of blue?
Very good point. Okay? So basically they made a boo-boo. Okay?
So it is a monkey.
Yeah.
Oh,
The saffron gatherer is actually a monkey, an African ape. Okay? The blue of its body is the same as that on the fresco from Knossos.
It's the same figure.
Yeah. The dates are comparable and the style is so similar that it's been suggested that the same artist painted them. So same artist, two different islands, one from Crete and one Thyatira. Okay? The fresco at Akratori is fortunately complete with the heads and tails of the monkeys. Okay? So the one that they're talking about is not the one of the Mistress of Animals, it's a different one that we'll look at eventually. Okay? But they're basically saying, well, it's obviously not that. Okay? It's not the young boy, it's a monkey. Alright? Fabulous. Alright.
So was there any frescoes with males on them? Because a lot of them seem to have females.
There is, so we had the young boys boxing.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, and the
Okay.
fishermen. Never mind.
We do have some, there's just not as many.
Alright.
Okay? Now, I think an important thing to realise of that is what were the Minoans seemingly obsessed with? Yeah, nature and naturalism. Okay? Earth, what gender is it? Female.
Really?
What do we commonly call it?
Mother.
Mother Earth. Okay? Now, there could be easily a reason why there's so many more females than there are males on the fresco. Because of their fascination with nature, we could easily say that they thought that the female form was a lot more compatible with their interests. That's all right. So girls, here's what I want. I believe we only have 10 minutes left if I'm checking my watch correctly.
Yep.
Yes? So we have the reading on the West House. Thank you, sir.
2 pages each.
We have the reading on the West House, and then next lesson, obviously, what are we going to do?
The East House.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Really?
No, 2 each, darling. 2 each.
I thought it was the northeast.
Northwest. Okay, we call it the West House, but it's actually in the Northwest. Okay, see where you made it.
I can't see.
That was somebody getting it wrong.
Oh.
You've remembered what someone said wrong. That's all right. Thank you. That's all right. All right. So next lesson is on the West House. So final 10 minutes. I want you to go through this reading. That way, when we start the PowerPoint next time, we're already ahead of the game. No point starting the PowerPoint now. We're all going to fall asleep.
This reading.
Okay?
This.
Do we all understand?
So they know.
Fabulous.
This reading.
I'll hold it up.
Sir, could you turn the lights back on?
Yep. And Mr. Sark, if you just turn off that
Okay.
video.
So
Thank you.
read this reading. This reading. Okay. Bye.
There was something interesting
So-
about how
Oh, what's something good to sign off with?
Yep.
All right. So you gotta pose so I can